Well, greetings and good morning, business communication students. This is Mr. D. This is week number 7 in our 15-week course in business communications, BCOT247 here at Cerritos College. I know it says Biz 247. It's supposed to be BCOT 247, so I apologize for that. But we're going to be looking at short workplace messages and digital media. So we're going to be talking a little bit about emails, a little bit about memos, a little bit about instant messaging, texting, blogging, podcasting. It's all those areas of communication within a business. This week, you're not going to be looking at memos or emails in depth, although you can read the book. The next couple of weeks, we'll be actually going over how to format a memo and then writing a memo, how to format an email, how to write an email, how to format a letter, and how to write a letter. Those will be coming in the coming weeks, but you will be touching on those kind of some do's and don'ts of each of those mediums in this particular chapter that you'll be reading. But the big thing is you're going to be learning about digital medias. So again, blogging, tweeting, instant messaging, stuff like that. And that's where all of our assignments and everything surround. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And here I am on our homepage in Canvas. I'm going to select our class, BCOT 247. And then here I am on the home page now. And when I go to the home page, I'm going to select module number 2. Since that's where we're at, we've completed module number 1. Now we're our second week into module number 2. So week number 7, let's see, here we go. All right. So we're going to have a check-in assignment on chapter 5. So make sure you read chapter 5. It's interesting. It's a really good chapter. It's got some interesting content that I think you'll find very relevant. So read the chapter and then answer, and there's a PowerPoint as well, so you might want to review the PowerPoints. But then there's a check-in assignment, so you have three questions, I think, from chapter 5. And again, the check-in assignments are me directing you to specific content that I feel like you really need to know. And also, it's your chance of using the book, my chance of knowing that you're getting into the book, as well as checking in during the week, since they're only open for 1 week. And just like you can't go back and make up a class that you've missed, you can't go back and make up a check-in assignment. They are in place of class participation, so make sure you complete that. Also, there's a quiz on chapter 5 that you'll need to complete, and then you have, of course, we're still continuing our, we are starting a new, I didn't realize it, but this is a new module, so we're going to be starting a new discussion post this week as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put that here. And that's going to be not due until November, but you want to definitely get started. But this is going to be the do's and don'ts of business writing. So you just completed this last week, the do's and don'ts of business presentations. So now you're going to be doing the same exact thing you did with that assignment, but you're going to be doing it on business writing. And by the way, I am going to be having a Zoom session on how to do business writing. And you may want to watch that. I also have a recorded version of that, and that will help you as well. But I'm basically helping you do your homework assignment by you watching my video on business writing. And by the way, I'm going to make it mandatory to watch the business writing video anyway, because all the writing assignments that you'll be doing, I'm pretty much telling you what I'll be looking for as far as grading. And it just makes my job a lot easier when you know what you're supposed to do. And then you're going to be much happier in the class. You're going to get a much higher grade, and it's going to make my life a little easier. So there definitely is going to be a Zoom session. So let me look here on the schedule and see when that is. It might be next week. So yeah, I think I put it off for a week. So let me go to the schedule. Hold on a second. While you're on here, I want you to go with me. I'm going to come down here to the schedule for this week. So I'm going to go ahead and select the syllabus. It opens right here in Canvas, and then I'm going to scroll down to see when that Zoom session is scheduled. So you can mark your calendars for that. It's going to probably be on a Thursday morning or a Wednesday morning. So here we are right here. This is the new week. So actually, I do have it for this Wednesday at 11:30. So 11:30 Wednesday is our Zoom session. So I'll make sure I add that on the modules page so you have access to it. So this Wednesday at 11:30 a.m., I will be going over business writing. And if you join me in that session, you'll get everything you need to really complete your discussion post for this second module. So take advantage of that. If you can't, I will be recording it, but sometimes the recording doesn't turn out all that great, so I end up using an older recording. So if you want real-time information, make sure you join me for that Zoom session. Let me see if I can find it. So, all right, so here's the Zoom session there. I'll create a folder in this week's module. It'll be right here that will have the Zoom session on Wednesday with the date and the time. And you can just select that to join me. So make sure you don't miss that. I'll make sure I change the email to reflect the Zoom session. But anyway, so you have a check-in assignment on Chapter 5. You have a quiz on Chapter 5. You have your your discussion post on Chapter 5 or on the topic of business writing. And then you have your first writing assignment. So we finished the big stuff. We did the presentation and all that last week. Now we're going to focus on business writing. So that's going to be the extra element. And for the next 5 weeks or so, we'll be doing business writing every week. So the first week, you have writing assignment number 1, which is digital channels. So I'm going to go ahead and spend a little bit of time explaining this assignment because some students have a little struggle with it. So basically, you are asked to be the social media director for Apple. And unfortunately, what that means is you control all of their social media sites, you control their blogs, you control their Instagram, you control any kind of online comments that people make. Your job is to, address those issues online. And unfortunately, there was a sales memo that was being sent out to all of the salespeople that got leaked, and a shady, unethical reporter got a hold of it, and now they want to do a story on Apple's sales position. And if you look at the memo, it's actually found here at the bottom. It talks about West Coast sales doing really good, but East Coast sales not doing so good because of Samsung and other advertising that are going on. And if the East Coast doesn't improve, they may need to have some cutbacks. So this reporter who got the memo wants to write dirt on Apple on their various social media sites. So you're trying to do damage control. So this reporter happens to reach out to you through an instant message and says, hey, I heard Apple is going to be laying off a bunch of people or firing a bunch of people. They always exaggerate, right? And so your job is to have an instant message exchange with the reporter. Now you have to make up the entire conversation other than, hey, I heard they're going to fire a bunch of people at Apple. So you have to come up with a response for that and then a question that the reporter will ask you again based off of the memo. So you have the memo below. So create the questions, create the answer. You need to answer 5 of the reporter's questions. And so that means 10 comments from each person total. 5 from each, 10 total. So that's the first part of the assignment. That is the instant message exchange. And your goal is to redirect. It's to direct them to the good news. It's to direct them to the positive news. Secondly, then, because you know the reporter is going to take whatever information they got from you, whatever information they got from the memo, and they're going to write stuff up about you guys. So you want to be able to get your constituency on the right page with the right message. So you're going to create a blog. And that blog is going to be about what Apple is doing, what they're doing as far as their sales. And so you're going to take some of what the memo says, mostly the positive, and you're going to present that to your constituents in the form of a blog. Very important. I give you some sample blogs down the bottom of the page. I also recommend that every blog always have 3 things. Number 1, a picture or graphic. Number 2, some kind of catchy title or catchphrase to grab the reader's attention. And number 3, which we'll be talking about in the business writing video, is that you need to utilize what we call text design or design elements to improve readability. Now, business writing is not plain text. Business writing is not all one paragraph. It's short single-spaced paragraphs separated by spaces and the use of all kinds of text design. That's business writing. Headings, bullet list, bold text, underlined text, italicized text. It should never be just plain text, and it certainly should not be all one big paragraph. So you need to add text design. You learned about this in Chapter 4 quite a bit when we talked about revising business documents, and you need to improve the readability by using text design. And so I'll be looking for that. Those are the 3 things about your blog. And then finally, you're going to write a tweet, and the tweet or X needs to be directing everybody to the blog, but it needs to also have a message in itself, and it can only be 140 characters. That's spaces and letters. 140 letters and spaces total. So it needs to be very brief and to the point. But the goal of the tweet or X message is to send people to your blog, and then your blog tells them the good news of what's really happening with Apple. So it's a 3-part assignment, and it's worth 50 points. So that's your first writing assignment. None of the other writing assignments have multiple parts to it like that. So this one's a little more challenging sometimes, but I just want to make sure you understood how to do it. So that's pretty much it then for week number 7. Again, you have a check-in assignment, you have a quiz, you continue your discussion post or start your discussion post on the do's and don'ts of business writing, and then you have your first writing assignment. So that's it for week number 7. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to me and I will meet with you. But if not, I'll be expecting a video from me next week, and also try and join me this Wednesday at 11:30 in Zoom for our